Hi everybody, my name is Dawn Colsch and this is my Environmental Issues Instruction or EII Planning Outline for Water Connects Us All. I'm a teacher at MFL Marmac Middle School in McGregor, Iowa, and this lesson I have set up for a 6th grade science class of approximately 60 students. Okay, so first we would have the pretest, and that's sent out via Gmail. And then day one, we would get right into level 1. This is issue analysis. So we talk about what decisions they made that morning, why they made that, and what motivated them. Then they'd go ahead and complete this handout of the motivator list and definitions. So they would actually have this motivator booklet here at their desk, but we would just do part of it together. So we would do the word and the definition together, and they would need to do their examples and non-examples independently. Up on the smartboard, this is what I would be displaying, and so these visuals would cue them to, kind of think of some different motivators. So of course this is economic, and then health and social, etc. So we would have those little discussions together, and then they would come up with their examples and non-examples independently. Then we'd move on to problems versus issues, and I have a little slideshow that I set up for that. The issues would be first, and here, let me move this over a little bit here. So we would really stress that issues can cause some disagreement and some difficult decisions and discussions. Problems are different because they actually have a solution, so they can be solved, and a problem can be an issue if people disagree about it or how to solve it. And then I'd end with just this introduction of how the end of this unit is going to look. What is their accountability piece or their culminating activity that they need to, be thinking about? So over the next couple of weeks, we'll be focused on water. After researching and learning more about the water issues, you will need to construct a diorama showing good water conservation practices and responsible environmental action. I'm going to encourage them to keep mindful of that along the way so that they can find interest in different areas of water concern, and then kind of depict that with their dioramas in the end. Then we're going to end our problems versus issue, our issue analysis level here with Riparia's River. Riparia's River is this book right here. Okay. And so we'll read the book together, and then I have a handout that they'll be completing at their desk independently. This has their characters listed, what choices the character made, what motivated them to make those choices, and then the problems and issues presented at the end there. Okay, so then to level 2. So level 2 is the content, the concepts, activities, and we're going to start off with this Iowa Watershed Claims, Evidence, and Curiosities graphic organizer. Of course, the claims and the curiosities, they'll be able to do right away, day 1 even. So this is what they know or what they want to know, in other words. And then the evidence is something that they're going to, revisit this graphic organizer along the way through this unit. Water vocabulary Quizlet. I think vocab is so important. I'm foreseeing this Quizlet as kind of a filler activity that students will, complete or work on as time, allows for them. So of course we all know that some move quicker through things than others, and if they have some time at the end of class, those kiddos that are working a little bit ahead, they can go back to this Quizlet and work on that. If they don't have a whole lot of time in class, of course, they might need to do this outside of class a little bit. The Earth Beach Ball data collection I thought was a really great activity. Kids always like to, get a little physical and toss the ball around sometimes. So we're going to toss the beach ball around 100 times and tally how many times that right hand pinky lands on land or water. So of course we have the informational handout there. At the end of that informational handout, there is a list of those percentages. So we will take our average results that we will, our data table, and compare it with that information that came from that how much water handout. Okay. Then we have the perspective of water on the planet, and this is going to come from the One Well book, and that is this book here, The Story of Water on Earth. So we're going to use this Were You Aware worksheet. This is a worksheet that focused on the types of water, so freshwater or saltwater, glaciers. So they're going to make a prediction of those percentages, and then we're going to look at that actual data. The actual data is, of course, coming from that One Well book. Then we'll get into the real world a little bit. So we're going to watch the water lady here, the Navajo water lady that brings water to her people on a regular basis. Very inspirational video. Very, very good. The TAP documentary also is a good one. That's a long one, hour and 16 minutes, but I thought, along the way we'll just have a lot of discussion on that access to clean drinking water, and that pairs nicely with the Navajo water lady. The water properties, tic-tac-toe station work. I loved this. I did this twice already. Absolutely love it. It's so hands-on, and it's a great inquiry for all students. The students love it. It's the graphic organizer said it is set up really well, and I like how they have a lot of questions along the way, and then we don't really talk about those words like cohesion and adhesion and polarity and things until the end, but then they kind of understand like how does that look? How does cohesion, adhesion, polarity, how does that look in real station work? So I love that. I'm definitely going to fit that in. Okay, so then we have nitrogen cycle. So water cycle. We hit and hit and hit water cycle over and over again from early elementary all the way through. The kids, I really think, got the water cycle. They got it figured out. The nitrogen cycle, not so much. So the nitrogen cycle, definitely going to do that. The one thing I'm going to change here is I'm not sure I like the stamp, the lick and stick kind of piece there. So I do have some sticker paper. I can print onto that sticker paper and cut that out and make little stickers rather than the lick and stick stamps. But yeah, that's a great physical too activity. So we'll take care of that. The WADA watershed is actually something that I picked up from our Ag in the Classroom representative last year. So last summer I took a class, and this, just to give you an idea of what this is. So first of all, here's a picture of what's happening. So they're going to crumple up the paper, add some color to it with their markers, their water soluble markers. That's important, and then make this watershed. So we have one color. So after they crumple up the paper, they're going to have one color that shows the high points in their community, their hypothetical wad of paper community, right? They have a second color that's going to show the lower elevations, so the creeks, the rivers, the lakes. So this is, of course, something that they're going to have to think about, where might those water bodies of water end up. And then the third color is going to be human settlements. So factories, housing, shopping centers, office buildings, schools, etc. They might think about, some of these water issues that people don't really think about a whole lot. Maybe, fertilizing the yard, or dumping out, gas or oil, runoff, how things are impacting our water sources. This fourth color is going to be where plants or animals could be raised. Okay, and then they'll use their spray bottle to spray the water, and then they'll notice some changes. They're going to notice that path that the water flows. And then we'll talk about that, and is that a good thing? Is that not a good thing? Most cases it's not a good thing. So what can we do about it? Can we add in some, some contour stripping, some, here we go, here's a whole list. Can we add in any of those vocabulary words that we've learned in Quizlet? Can we do some things to help? Okay, so kind of get them thinking of that. So that's going to move us on to issues. We have the Iowa Association of Naturalists resource here that I thought was a really great one, and it's special to Iowa, and that's always important to kind of hit home with these issues. So this is a free publication on, I believe, their website, and you can order it. Also, I have a couple of them in my classroom, and my idea with this is that this is 27 pages, so I thought this might be a nice silent reading, and then I'm going to ask them to make some post-it notes in the margins, add some post-it notes with some questions and comments. And then, if they finish a little early, maybe they can visit that Quizlet. Eventually, when everybody is done, we're going to do a think, pair, share. Who polluted the river activity? This is where we had the film canisters, and we had that wonderful narrated story about who polluted the river. I don't have film canisters, but I will be using baby jars. I have a lot of baby jars. Then water quality tests. That is so fabulous that we're getting water quality tests. I'm so excited. So going to get that in. Our Water Savers game, I have printed off the heroes and the villains, and I have the game boards all printed off, ready to go. And then, of course, we got, our social distancing began, but I will definitely get back to that next year. Asian carp invasion and zebra mussels are both some things that, we have so many fishermen in my community. I have so many students that love to fish, and they've heard about the Asian carp invasion, and they've heard about zebra mussels. So we're going to learn a little bit about that, and there are, some videos and some information points there. And then we will end with our diorama. So we have this event called the Celebration of Education, and we have all kinds of different things happening that night, just kind of, a showcase of student work. So I thought this would be a great time to have the students display their dioramas, and they will need to, I have a rubric here, they will need to add some special features. So of course they need to accurately depict source material and show evidence of strong comprehension. Add some features in there. Our vocabulary, our crops, maybe our prairie grasses, storage ponds, rain gardens, managed grazing, any of that stuff in there for our features. Creativity is always important, putting it together well, and then they will need to present that. And then we'll end with our post-test. So I have my book list, just to kind of remind me, yep, that's what I need. I have some experts in the area that I have. Well, this one's not in the area, unfortunately, but I have some experts that I can reach out to as well. Thanks for listening. I'm excited to teach it. I have taught a couple parts of it. The water properties, great. The Water Savers game, I'm so excited about that. I have it all printed out, ready to go. I'm looking forward to it. Bye-bye.